Hey everyone, it's SpursRail96 here. Welcome to another Train Sim World live stream. Hope you're doing well out there and have had a good start to a new week. For today's stream, we're taking another first look, albeit at a familiar face, and that is the return of the BR193 Vectron electric locomotive, but this time in FlixTrain colours and doing passenger services. So we're going to see what the difference is with this particular variant of the Vectron, and well, is it worth paying your money for, basically. So it's got scenarios, it's got some services, nowhere near as many, of course, and it has its own journey mode on chapter, I should say, on the Kingsacktalbahn, which is one of the German routes that came with Train Sim World 5. So yeah, let's fire up the journey mode. Old dog, new flicks, and we'll go with the first one and the first service, really. Which is the FlixTrain service from Stuttgart Hauptbahnhof to Berlin Lichtenberg. So yeah, let's rock and roll. Will it be okay, or will it be a load of green sludge? Only time will tell. And for hopefully the next hour and a half or so, we'll see if it's worth your money, or even a fraction of its price. We will see. We will see. Just getting the live chat up on the phone. Seeing if it's all tickety-boo. Should be okay. Yep, seems all good to me. Okay, so this service is the 8:38 a.m. Passenger service from Stuttgart to Berlin Lichtenberg. But obviously we're operating the service from Frankfurt Main Hauptbahnhof to Fulda. So let's do the usual bits and bobs. Turn the motion blur on. It brings a level of stability to the stream. Okay, so there are some differences in the cab. Not major changes, but there are differences. So I think the setup procedure should be very similar, if not identical, to the Vectrons that we've had before. Signal lights, yep. Now, as this locomotive is hauling coaches, will we have to turn any sort of interior lighting on for the passengers, or is that on by default? Okay, aircon mode, temperature, okay, that seems okay. So it's got all the usual buttons from a Vectron. We'll cut the brakes in. You can't go down through the corridor, which is a bit of a shame. Parking brake, LZB. PZB will turn on. Same goes for SIFA. I know it annoys a few people, SIFA, but you need to make sure it works. The seat Makesh, the texture on it doesn't look very crisp, unless that is actually how it's meant to look. Well, speaking of Vectrons, there is the rail pool Vectron doing some freight duties. Right, I'll unlock the coaches. So what's the stopping pattern we've got? We have one additional stop at Hanau Hauptbahnhof, which so we're not actually at Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, apologies there, we're at Frankfurt Süd, and Hanau Hauptbahnhof is there, and then it's pretty much a straight run all the way to Fulda. So we'll have to wait at the red signals for a little bit. Let's go take a look at the coaches, shall we? Again, the frame rate, even though I'm not at Frankfurt main Hauptbahnhof station, it still doesn't feel entirely smooth, but I think Dovetail have said they do plan to launch a patch concerning the performance of not only this route, the Kingshead-Telbahn, but also the West Coast Main Line. Ooh, yeah, the livery looks good. It is nice to have a different brand doing some passenger duties on some German routes. Well, only one German route for now, but a splash of green is well, nice to see on your travels. So let's go on board this coach. So it's got a mixture of old and new. Got the health and safety in German. Good, good, good. I imagine that would have a route map or a FlixTrain advertising poster. Let's open the door here. Oh, not the kind of door I was expecting. It would be like a slidey. Oh, I didn't press it that time. I expected one of those doors to slide out from the side, but oh, fair enough. So I think it's just one standard. I think these coaches are exactly the same in terms of seating layout, configuration, interior. I think it's like just one. No, don't want to give up control. I think it's just one standard car class across the entirety of the train. I may be proven wrong. Oh, don't know what's going on there. The seats don't look too bad. I like the roof, the ceiling I should say. That is very different, very cool. Modern, stylish. I imagine they're LEDs or something like that. Some form of modern lighting. For wood, I like the wood. The wood is cool. Brings a touch of character to the coaches. And the texture on that is actually not too bad. Not bad at all. And there's the logo there. FlixTrain. I like the way the branding continues onto the glass of the door. That is cool. So you've got the fire extinguisher. You've got a control panel here, imagine for the staff, maybe conductor. I don't think you can do conductor like mode on this on the FlixTrain services. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think any of the buttons are operational anyway. Oh no, you've got coach lighting. Here we go. Oh, you can, two different settings, dim, or you can dim it. Can you brighten them at all? You can indeed. That is a nice touch. Or you can turn them off completely. Half of them I'll have it on full. Get people wide awake in the morning rush hour. Other than the coach lights, none of the other buttons seem to be usable in any way, shape or form. Even just pressing for pressing's sake. Oh well. What are these doors like? Ooh. Oh, that was quick. Okay, fair enough. Right, out we get. Let's get on to the next coach. Ooh, nearly fell out there. So we've got water closet, toilet maybe. Obviously no smoking permitted on this train. Is that the handbrake? Does that work? Emergency handbrake maybe. Oh, there's a handbrake in. Oh, what there was. Apologies there. Thought there was. Ooh, okay. Wonder what's in there. Maybe some electrical gubbins. Is that a fire? Yeah, it's a fire extinguisher under the seats. Little place to put your lit up. Maximum 5 centimeters window opening. Do the windows open? A common complaint has been that some of the windows on some coaches don't tend to be well, they don't have the option of being opened or closed. I know it may be against the rules and regulations of different railways and operators and railroads, but it would just be nice, you know, from a game perspective. Cup holders down there. These have got little tables, I've noticed, little fold-out tables. But once again, you've got okay. There's a few differences here. You've got seats facing forwards, and these seats facing rearwards. You've got a table here as well. Take a seat. Watch the view go by. Okie doke, okie doke. I'm probably bringing the whole of Frankfurt to a standstill by looking at this, but it's important. It's important. Luggage rack. And the different seats, A or B. Hello. That's a new sound. What was that? Was it probably the train that's just come onto the platform? And I imagine it's just going to be rinse and repeat in the other coaches, isn't it? I can go down the length of the train. PIS boards do work for FlixTrain services. That is good. Very good. What's interesting of FlixTrain as an operator is that they don't own or are responsible for like maintenance of the FlixTron coaches or the Vectron, all the coaches. They are leased out by I imagine Siemens or and the coaches I think maybe from Deutsche Bahn, but I'll most likely be wrong. Oh hello, we've got some English here. Rail passenger rights. Okay. And what one's that? There in English. Ride only with a valid ticket, of course. And there's the rear. We have the tail lights on. That's good. Sometimes I've seen trains and other DLCs, either with destinations not set and tail lights not put on, or even the headlights being left on in some cases. So that's good. What's that? Is that a rag? What's that, little bag? Just a little paper bag on the platform. That's odd. I thought it would be one of those collectibles, but it's not. Right, let's return to the locomotive. We're nearly 10 minutes late, but I think that's the norm in Germany, I've been told. Again, let's look at the decals. Bit of weathering on the bottom, that's good to see. Siemens, Vectron. Oh, hello. What's that? Oh, I was just climbing up the steps. I thought it was like a little cap or something you could remove. Right, let's climb aboard the cab. Didn't mean to open the window, but you can open the window. And you can use the blind. Yeah. All of the entire German rail system in the Frankfurt area has come to a shuddering halt. Apologies. Let's see the train depart. I'll shut up for a second. I have no idea in terms of the various things you can do on the computer screen. I have not checked that yet, and most likely most of it will be in German, so I won't have a clue what most of it would mean. And if it was in English, that would be perfect, but it's not. Okay, so C from PZB, at least the indicators on the touchscreen seem to be working, so that's good. I'd love to know what LZB would be like with this FlixTrain. It's what I will say is a tad annoying is that when you get the Kingzigtalbahn route, you already get a Vectron locomotive included. So it kind of feels a bit. I don't know. It may. I don't think it's the fault of this DLC, but it just feels like a bit pointless, you know, in a way, like having just another version of the Vectron. There are differences in the cab. I could plop down an extra Vectron locomotive at Fulda and show you the differences in the cab. Right, let's pick up the speed a little bit. But I don't know what they are off the top of my head. I will be totally honest with you there. So it's better just to, you know, show it to you instead of me just guessing and thinking what's changed. But I definitely know there are some interior changes. Not massive changes, not so many changes to the point where the it's had to be totally remodeled from the ground up, but enough changes at least to make it look and feel a different-ish experience. But if you've had a Vectron either from the Kingzigtalbahn route or the rail pool, it's a very similar driving experience, the same sounds, I imagine similar physics, but obviously the difference is you're not hauling heavy freight. All different variations of freight, be it the types of wagons and the length of the train, but obviously passenger, which is a nice difference for this particular Vectron. So that, I suppose, in a way is a kind of a good thing, but is it worth the price so far? I mean, I haven't looked at the scenarios. I don't really tend to play in them. I'm mainly a timetable focused kind of person, and that's me ignoring the speed. So it's a good opportunity to test the let's see if the emergency brakes work. Gotta do the thorough checks. There we go. Yes. Yes, I know. Thank you very much. So the emergency brakes work. That's something, right? So yeah, a little bit of information about the Vectron if you are not really into the German content in Train Sim World. It's a relatively new locomotive made by Siemens Mobility, introduced in 2010. There are, I think, 4 different versions: diesel, a multi-unit, which is both AC and DC electric power, as well as what was the multi-system? I think the multi-system was diesel and electric, if I'm not mistaken. Similar to, what locomotive was it that I wanted to see on the Northeast Corridor, New York Trenton? I think it was like an ALP 45 or something, wasn't it? That was like a dual power locomotive where you can switch between not the third rail, what was it? AC overhead wiring and a diesel engine. But yeah, they're very common, especially in these days, because they're used in quite a few European countries. They have a power output of roughly between like 7,000 and 8,500 horsepower. That's 300 kilonewtons or 67,000 pounds of tractive effort. And it has a maximum permitted speed of 230 kilometers per hour, which is 145 miles per hour. And yeah, as far as the countries go, just trying to have a look. It's in the following nations. It's in Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, Germany, obviously, Hungary, Italy, the Netherlands. It'll be interesting to see if that will make, if a Vectron of some kind, either freight or, I don't think passenger, but maybe freight, will make its debut or appear doing some sort of freight traffic on that new Dutch route in Train Sim World 5 later in the year. And the other nations are Norway, Poland, Romania, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Sweden. Oh, that'd be cool if we could have a route in Sweden. Switzerland and Turkey, and they are ordered by the following companies. There's literally so many, it could go on forever, but the ones that we do have are Railpool, not MRCE, no, but I imagine MRCE will be next on the copy and paste Vectron for freight duties. Railpool, Deutsche Bahn, and I think DB Cargo as well, I think, and Hector Rail is one I know too. But yeah, a little bit of information about the brand that we are representing, so to speak. I mean, sadly, this stream is not is not sponsored or anything like that by the FlixTrain company. It is a German, obviously, open access operator, mainly suited for long distance railway passenger services, and is a subsidiary of the mobility company Flix, which also owns a long distance coach operator known as FlixBus. And the idea of FlixTrain and FlixBus is that it's meant to supplement or integrate the bus network with the rail connections, with what they call like feeder services, if you like. They work so closely, the FlixTrain company, with FlixBus. They share various components regarding sales channels, marketing, network planning, resources, ticketing, timings, even services. And touching on services in real life, FlixTrain operate in Germany not many services, as you would expect. I've got a list of them here from 2023, so it's July 2023, I should say, so nearly 2 years old. There's a couple of routes that caught my attention. It's the Flix 10 line, which goes from Basel in Switzerland to Stuttgart, as well as Berlin Hauptbahnhof. Flix 15 goes from Hamburg Hauptbahnhof, which I'm actually quite surprised that this FlixTrain Vectron wasn't subbed into the Hamburg-Lübeck timetable, even though it's totally inaccurate as far as I think the time period of the route. It just would be nice to have it subbed in, to do some extra services, and that goes to Stuttgart. FlixTrain 20 service that goes from Curl Hauptbahnhof, so it will, I think, appear in the new Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel-Würzburg, Curl-Aachen timetable that's due to be released sometime, hopefully this year. It's been in the pipeline for a very long time now, and that goes from Curl Hauptbahnhof to Hamburg Hauptbahnhof. And the final two types of services is FlixTrain 30 service that goes from Aachen Hauptbahnhof, I think to Dresden, but I'm not entirely 100% sure. There's a bit of the service that's displayed, but not all of it, so I can't confirm that particular service. But the final passenger service you can do in real life, of course, or take part in, if you want to go and experience it in real life, goes from Hamburg Hauptbahnhof to Leipzig Hauptbahnhof. And in terms of frequency of the services, the first one I said, FlixTrain 10, that gets 3 services a day. FlixTrain 15 gets just 5 a week. FlixTrain service 20, that gets 2 a day. The second to last service, which I don't know where it goes to, that has 2 a day, and the final one, FlixTrain service 35, has 2 a day. So yeah, not many services. As it says, the company was purely designed for focusing on long distance passenger services. I think it goes to FlixTrain passenger services go to other services countries such as Sweden. I think it covers the Swedish cities. Stockholm, Malmö, Gothenburg, I think. And it actually entered a partnership with a Stockholm Swedish rail operator, which is Hector Rail. And as far as other nations, I think France maybe, but I think it had planning permission, or not planning permission, what was it? It planned to introduce a service from Sweden to France, but I don't think that's happened yet. And they also intend to run international services between Germany and the Netherlands to various Dutch cities such as Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Arnhem, and The Hague or The Hague. But yeah, that's as far as the services go. So yeah, that's your basic little overview, to the best of my ability, of FlixTrain, the operator, and the BR 193 Vectron. One thing I will say which is good with this locomotive and across all the different variations now, from Railpool to Deutsche Bahn to this, is that it's a very well built locomotive. I think it's one of the better German locomotives that Dovetail have made in a very, very long time. I think they went on a recording trip, or went on a trip to Germany to the Siemens factory, or a factory, or a depot that was luckily, a Vectron was available to be photographed to no end, sounds recorded and all that kind of stuff, getting information from the drivers, from the people, that make the Vectron, maybe FlixTrain themselves, how things work regarding their services, and about how to integrate into maybe other timetables for the future. It is a bit misleading that Dovetail say, I think in the press release for the FlixTrain BR193 Vectron, that it integrates or subs into a variety of German timetables. It's not many, it's just 2. This route alone has just 6 services for the FlixTrain passenger duties, and for the second route, I think, is, I can't remember what it was. Oh, sugar, it was in my head. Oh, it does some international freight services, bizarrely. I don't think that is correct, but for some reason the FlixTrain variant of the Vectron subs into freight services. I think it's either S-Bahn-Vorarlberg or I think Taranto-Ramp of all routes. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that. But I definitely know that you can do some, for some strange reason, freight services with the Vectron in the FlixTrain colour scheme. But there you go. Right, I better turn my attention to the driving. I've been too busy blabbing away. Too busy reading. As you can tell, my voice is going. I'll have a drink of water. Always saves the day. I've just noticed we've missed Hanu. Oh well. Might make it on time for a change. Oh well, we'll do a service in the return direction. In the opposite direction. And I'll try and stop at Hanu. Maybe. I can't rule it out. I'll look at the live chat. I haven't touched it at all. For what feels like forever. When it's only just gone 35 minutes. I'll say my hellos to Slovak, Ballmapper, and Saito Kin. I hope you're both well. Let's have a look at your questions and the various things you two have put. Slovak, is the East Coast mainline route good in terms of quality? I don't know yet. I haven't had an in-depth look at the recent upgrades that really the route should have had from the very start, but there we go. Dovetail dumped it all in before Christmas, I believe. But the fact they've now said that they plan to release another big patch concerning the performance of the route doesn't fill me with much confidence. But for timetable, I have had a little peek at it. It is much better. Certainly for the Transport for London services, you know, the overground, the underground, they are significantly... there is significantly more services, particularly with the overground, which is good to see. I think freight was meant to get an overhaul, but it's disappeared for some reason. I think it was having problems or something, which doesn't surprise me at all, knowing Dovetail. You know, they don't seem to either test these things. I mean, I don't know, maybe their beta program is just utter crap, or maybe it doesn't even exist, I don't know. But yeah, for some reason, the freight that was promised did not turn up in the update, and then to complicate things more, they released a stupid gameplay pack with that concerned freight with another 66, with a variant of hoppers that were already on the map, already on the East Coast main line, West Coast main line, as just static stock. So I bet you Dovetail sneakily pulled the UK freight services on purpose and sneaked it into the DLC just to make you pay for it. I bet you that's what they've done, because all the other freight services would have been with stock that we've had for years, like tankers and what was it, aggregate, I think, coal, and obviously containers, which are already in the route as it stands. So yeah, I hope I'm proven wrong, but if it is proven to be the case, that's very naughty from Dovetail. So yeah, I expect that will annoy a few people, as well as yeah, result in low sales. Hopefully. Right, let's pick up the pace. Let's see what this is like at full chat. Obviously, when you have the Vectron on the cousin of this route, the Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel Würzburg, you're at a very limited speed, because obviously they're doing freight services, and most of them in the pitch dark. So it's nice to let the Vectron stretch its legs to a certain degree, or maybe not. Ah, bugger. Fair enough. There we go. Okay, I think it is actually limited passenger-wise to, I think it's 145 miles per hour. Which I don't know if that shouldn't be the, yeah. I don't know why it's forcing me to be at a reduced speed. The top speed of this Vectron apparently was 230 kilometers per hour. Obviously, the speed limit currently is 200 kilometers per hour. So I imagine it's speed limit to do with the coaches. I wish Dovetail would tell you these things sometimes. They are absolutely hopeless in terms of providing like just basic information on how to operate trains properly. They got some little guys like to help you with signals and things, but that does diddly squat. I mean, it's just a bunch of text. I remember when they were going to put some like videos and things, weren't they, on guides and various what was it, railroading operations and railways and signalling and safety systems and all that kind of stuff, but that's just been taken away. So what a waste of an effort that was. It's kind of like what they should, I think what they should do is like have like a video, instead of having a bunch of text, like maybe put a video next to it and have a voiceover, read it out to you, see it in action. Then that would certainly help you. Yes, there are some tutorials, but of course, to access those tutorials, I think if you have to buy some certain DLCs, like LZB, you'd have to buy this route or Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel Würzburg, and obviously German signalling and safety systems, or German signalling in particular, is pretty much non-existent as far as tutorials go. It's hopeless, absolutely hopeless. Like, you're in the wilderness there and you have to go online, which yeah, I think is a lazy excuse to say, oh, go online and find out how it works. It shouldn't be up to people, or to make content on how the basic principles of German signalling and safety systems work, particularly when it comes to operating different trains, be it freight and passenger. And then there's a whole different minefield when it comes to signalling systems in, blimey, France, the Netherlands. That's obviously coming up. Japan, but Japan is actually by a different developer, so I'll exclude that one. But the Netherlands, Austria, France, definitely. I don't have a clue what most of the French signalling systems means, other than clear. The signal gave you a clear indicator to proceed. So I think more guides, more help is required. Even some people that into train sim a lot and they like realistic operations, just would be nice to have a guide to help us, with the signalling, not just a drab of text on a screen, like maybe a video or even a tutorial. I think Dovetail have done tutorials on the old signals, semaphore signals on the steam routes. Yet they can't be bothered to do tutorials on signalling on German routes, British routes, Austrian routes, US routes even. Goodness me. If they want to attract more people into playing this game, be it complete noobs or people that like train simulation games to an extent, then they got to get their asses into gear. They're the only ones that can do it. Can't rely on your player-based Dovetail, but there you go. There you go. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? I don't know. We've got 54 kilometers to go until Fulda. Sodikin, hope you be well, Spurs. Yeah, I've been okay, thank you. Not too bad. Not too bad. Very cold today. Had a haircut this morning. And now I know how cold it is, judging by the less hair I've got on my head. Cytokine was AC/DC, a dual voltage version of their one with a last mile engine. I see. The Slovakians in Slovakia, they have 10 class 383 Vectrons, which are all multi-system with a maximum top speed 200 km per hour, and mostly haul fast trains from Bratislava to Košice and some other routes. Yeah. I already did international trains to Prague and Vienna in I thought Prague was in Austria. Of course it's not. Prague is in the Czech Republic, and Vienna is in Austria. Oh, Budapest as well. Slovak ZSSK also placed an order for 15 Vectrons to replace the older class 350 Gorillas. What a cool nickname, Gorillas. Huh. Oh, sorry, Slovak. Did you say East Coast? Oh, apologies, I misread that. East Coast Main Line, no idea. It's a waste of time getting that route. It's pretty much it's a very fast route and a long British route, but it's in a pointless part of the country, I'm afraid, on the East Coast Main Line. If you went from London to Doncaster, or I don't know, Peterborough to Doncaster, Hull, Leeds and York, then I would say yes, but unfortunately it doesn't. It only goes to Doncaster from Peterborough, so the route takes next to no time at all. I think it takes even less time to do a full run than it does on Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel Würzburg, which is technically longer and faster too, may I add. So, and has older rolling stock with a slower speed. So there you go. There you go. I think the circuit breaker is open for some reason. For some reason I can't generate some power. Maybe I did something horribly wrong. Oh, so that's an electric brake blending, I should say. That is currently inactive. Again, it'd be lovely to know how that works and what it does. Unfortunately, this does not come with a manual, which, surprise, surprise, Dovetail seem to just abandon manuals these days. Just trains and TSG. They pumped a few manuals of their products out, which is good for them. It's an interesting road. The tarmac disappeared and just turned to dirt. Yeah, this route definitely needs to look at with scenery as well as performance. I think that's the next major route to tackle regarding fixes and improvements. Well, certainly in the short term, no question. No question. But yeah, going back to your point about the East Coast Main Line, a question about the East Coast Main Line Slovak is nowhere near worth the price. I mean, what is it? It's I think it's 36 euros, but it may be different, obviously, because you're in Slovakia. I don't know. It might even have a deal in a sale going on in Slovakia. I don't know. But the traction that comes with it, it's just one new train. Seems to be the norm these days. That is the East Coast Main Line Class 800 electric multiple unit, which is made by, what is it, Hitachi, or partly by Hitachi. That is quite good. I will say that. I will say that. Sounds mixed bag, but as far as the model is concerned, and the look of it, I can't have many complaints. But yeah, it's just a feel of a nothing route, really. I mean, they tried to flesh it out by adding a stack load of AI services from other brands that Dovetail don't have, like Lumo, Grand Central, those kind of brands. So it makes the route feel a bit busy, but obviously the caveat to that is you're just seeing loads and loads and loads of LNER Class 801s, which just is not realistic. So that's why I think they should have done the route from King's Cross to Doncaster or even York. But yeah, there you go. Even the steam locomotive they chose for for the Flying Scotsman is technically incorrect. I mean, yeah, the Flying Scotsman was constructed in Doncaster and was the first steam locomotive to reach 100 miles per hour. But I remember they put a picture or a post up saying, oh, you know, if you go past this certain sign, it will commemorate the moment Mallard, which isn't in the route and probably never will be in Train Sim World, did the speed record, which is arguably much more I wouldn't say important, but more well known, let's say, than the Flying Scotsman reaching first train to reach 100 miles per hour. I mean, it's a great achievement, no doubt. Steam traction in the early 19th century, 20th century I should say, reaching those kind of speeds back then was very, very impressive. I mean, crikey, maximum speed these days in East Coast Main Line is what, 125, so we haven't gone leaps and bounds since regarding speed, but you know, the Mallard is still to this day retains the record of being the fastest steam locomotive in the world. So I just find it ironic that Dovetail make a big fuss about, you know, the sign commemorating the top speed record of Mallard, yet it's not a part of the game, be it the route, either a standard or a DLC even. So yeah, I know I know it's difficult to get a Mallard or in the game because obviously it hasn't been moved, hasn't been used in Rail Tour or moved under its own steam for decades at this point. But there are other, not versions of the Mallard, what is it? They're part of the was it Gresley's A1 Pacifics, I think? There are some that are storming around the country, not as we speak, probably tucked away in their sheds for the winter. But in the summer, springtime, you know, there's a few locomotives of the class that are still in active use, like what was it, Union South Africa, Sir Nigel Gresley, I think, was another one. I think there's probably one or two more, but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Now I think it's a perfect opportunity to turn the power off. Sorry, press the wrong button there. Let's take a look at the screens. So this is screen CCD. Does this do anything? Main? No. Data? No. Pushing the buttons. Again, the texture, look at that for the symbols there. Very low res. This is at 4K, not the stream, but the game, I can assure you. That is not good. I feel like textures in cabs, as Train Sim World has progressed, has got worse over time. Like just the base texture for some of the cabs, I feel has regressed, which isn't what you want to see. I mean, look at these. I mean, look at these numbers here on and the buttons. I mean, look at them. Very low res. Dearie me. All of it, in fact. Even the buttons. Gee, it does not like being looked at up close. Contrast. Oh, is that all it does? Okay, you can turn the brightness up, I think. No? No? You can't? Okay. Fair enough. UD? That doesn't do anything either. But, you know, it's displaying the critical information like power, amount of power being applied, braking percentage, speed, PZB, Elzeby as well, I would imagine. It says AFB, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay. Let's take a look at what's right under the desk. Oh, blimey, it's all the textures in the cab, is it? I do not like these kind of camera views. It's ironic that, considering Dovetail went to town with a feature saying, oh, if you can click the screen, you get right up close to it. Yeah, brilliant. No good when most of the bleeping buttons have ridiculously low resolution textures. They make a PS2 look good, which they were for their time. Fantastic. And makes the next gen consoles as well as PC look like right old twaddle in those camera angles. What's screen TDD? Ah, this one again. Look at that, very low res. You would expect them to at least try and get this right by now. What we've done, 6 versions of this game now? Good grief. Is it due to consoles? Most likely. But that's not going to change, is it? Because, yeah. There you go. So brightness, contrast, okay, so that does work. So I think this is when the power is being displayed, the kilowatts it's currently generating, signals, and in Germany 15 kilovolt AC overhead electric system. Got the date and the time, if you care about that at all. What this means, no idea. Again, if Dovetail could produce a manual or a tutorial looking more in depth at the locomotives, that would be fantastic. But no, it's just a simple going backwards and forwards, how to set it up. Yeah, lovely, fantastic, brilliant. Do another tutorial looking at the in-depth features of this locomotive, because you're doing it a disservice, Dovetail. Granted, it's not as in-depth as the DBR 101 from TSG. I mean, if you'd be a fool to think that Dovetail is going to go to that length of producing an accurate experience. But yeah, it just would be nice if they put a bit more effort into it. Camera quick bar, yes. Kilowatts per hour, let's click that one. Okay, it doesn't do anything. Uberstrom, this must be the speed control. Oh no, maybe not. The Funk Tutin, what is that then? Okay. PZB modes, I think that is. That must be lighting in the coaches, I think. Can we go? Yeah, we can go down. I dare not want to touch anything. What if I press enter for that one? Oh no, does it do anything? Let's go on PZB mode, surely that must do something. No, okay. System Deutsche Bahn. Okay. Don't think it could do anything there. Bremsen. Let's have a look. No, nothing there. Status lock. Okay, no. And the system, which has been part of the other Vectrons in the past. So you got 15 kilovolt AC overhead electrification system, 25 kilovolt Austrian. I think I did a run on Austrian a Vectron before. I can't remember if it makes any significant difference to the performance, but not sure regarding that. Since this train is crawling at a snail's pace, should we change the kilovolt? See what happens. What could possibly go wrong? Oh no. Alright, so 25 kilovolt. That's Austria, no thank you. Again, it's got Sweden there. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a Swedish route? That'd be lovely to have a Scandinavian route in Train Sim World. Perfect time to release it, winter Christmas time. That'd be perfect. I don't think you can change it. F1, F2, F3, F4. Again, it'd be lovely if we had some knowledge of it, whether he actually can change it or if there is a way to change it. If I have a manual, then fair play. I'll keep my mouth shut. But I don't think they do. Yeah, but textures in the cab when you're zoomed in is appalling. There's no excuse for that. I mean, I'm on a PS5 for crying out loud. So goodness me knows what this must look like on the old PS4, like, you know, the very first versions of those consoles and the Xbox One. Give me strength. Fuses, yeah. Even they look bad, and we're not even right up close to them. Okay. LZB... What's that one? The LZB instrument dimmer. I imagine that must be the LZB panel. Be interesting, that. Okay, so at the moment, the brakes have decided to... well, we're not applying any power, so it's got nothing to do with the brakes. So I don't know why I said that in the first place. Let's see if I just do the old didgeridoo. Switch it on, switch it off.
Zugbeeinflussung.
There we go. When in doubt, just switch it on and switch it off and switch it back on. That's probably not how you would do it in real life, but hey, this game is probably 50% or maybe 30-40% close to real life, so there you go. Oh dear. Mark Moss, hey, how are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Once again, thanks to the people who tuned in. Jesus Christ. It's not going well, is it? But that's my fault. I'm busy looking at the chat. Maybe I shouldn't have a live chat in future. Maybe I should just disable a live chat. I don't know if you can do that on YouTube. Well, maybe I should in future. Like, if it could just show who's tuned in, who's watching, and it comes up with the name of the, you know, account or whatever that's watching. Fantastic. Me looking at a live chat is a curse sometimes on these streams. As it goes, kids. Don't look at your phone while driving, be it in real life or in the games, in the virtual world. Oh, dearie me. Gee, what's wrong with this tunnel? That don't look, that didn't look very impressive. Right, let's pick up the pace. I think we should be okay now, he says. Don't think the 85 is flashing. so I think we should be okay. He says with trepidation. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the stream up to this point and you like what you see or hear, even though I'm making a complete mess of it, then yeah, feel free to hit the thumbs up button below. And if you want to subscribe for more content like this, then of course really appreciate it, and you're more than welcome to do so. If you don't want to, that's fine, no problems. It's not the end of the world. I think for the next run back to Frankfurt, I'll have all the safety systems turned off, just so I can, well, maybe relax a little bit more when it comes to the driving, and look at the live chat a bit more. Hey Craw, nice to see you, hope you're well. Hope you're well. Slovakia, 36 euros it is. Okay. You think 50% is good enough? 50% off. I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't tried it in its current iteration in Train Sim World 5, so it might have been, you know, ported over to Train Sim World 5 and be a complete mess. I haven't touched the East Coast Main Line for... Ooh, too long. So long I can't remember the last time I played it. So, I couldn't tell you if it's in a reasonable condition. Maybe 50%. It's kind of like Castle Würzburg, but just, to me, I think a little bit more boring. And the fact that, you know, of all the parts of the East Coast Main Line to recreate, I had to choose the most, not saying that the areas, you know, that section of East Coast Main Line are crap in real life, of course not, but I just think in game wise they should have chosen the section, in my view, either going from London to Doncaster, or if they, you know, were absolutely, you know, focused on delivering that midsection of the East Coast Main Line in the Midlands and you know, a little bit more up north, then fair enough. Do Peterborough to Doncaster, but include sections going to Hull and Leeds and York especially. But that's just my view. That's just my view. Or even start a route from Scotland, for crying out loud. Maybe Newcastle as well. York to Newcastle. Or maybe, let's be a bit more ambitious, maybe Doncaster to Newcastle. It's a little bit of a stretch, but, you know, gotta set your ambitions. That's what I think they should have done, but there you go. That's the way it is, and it got rightly criticised, in my opinion. But for the section of route they chose to recreate, so there you go. I mean, they can produce routes that are longer than this. I mean, Schnellfahrstrecke Castle Würzburg might be nearly 2 years old, and it's still to this day the longest route ever made in Train Sim World. And that's not a complaint or you know, being aimed at other developers, third-party ones, but purely at Dovetail. It's their main product. I'm sure they have the manpower, women power, the firepower to make a route that length once more, or reproduce it. Not on a consistent basis, of course not, because they won't do that, but you know, maybe once a year or once every, I don't know, 6 months, or every time a new version of the game comes out, pump out a new route that's 100 plus miles long. That would be nice. I know some people don't like long routes because they're dull and boring as hell, and maybe because they have an attention span of 5 minutes, but you know, we've got enough little short routes as it is. Plenty to choose from. So it's about time we have some longer routes. And when I mean longer, I'm talking like, I don't know, 60 miles plus. But there you go, that's just my view. We've got 26 kilometers to go to Fulda. Surprise, surprise, even though we missed the station, we are running late. But hey yo, as long as we finish it finish it in one piece, that's all that matters, isn't it? That's all that matters. Sidokin, yeah, apologies, yeah, for trying to read everything. I apologise if that's frustrating you. Absolutely, they need to make better route decisions. They say they listen to the community. I bet they don't. They probably decide what routes to choose purely on time and how long it will take. Well, time and maybe money as well. You know, getting recordings and going out on trips to, you know, the States and elsewhere in Europe and beyond. I understand it costs money, and they're not the most and they're not the company with the most cash. I understand that, but yeah, they need to do better. They need to do better. I feel like they've built the foundations, but the foundations are starting to wobble because they're trying to build like different portions of the game, but very quickly in a very rushed state. I mean, they pumped out Steam. That was a dismal failure. Sad to say, but it's the truth. They tried it. They dumped it. I appreciate that they gave it an effort, their best efforts, but I think they could have stuck with it and not given in. You know, just worked at it, kept burrowing away in the trenches, you know. You know, saying, oh, we're committed to working on it more, understanding of it, understanding the physics of reproducing Steam, learning about it, etc., rather than just throw in the towel and give up because you've developed poor sales out of it. I mean, not every route you're going to produce, Dovetail, is going to be for everyone. Simple as that. People don't like passenger routes, they don't like freight routes, they don't like old routes, they don't like modern routes, they don't like steam, they don't like diesel, they don't like electric. That's just the way the world goes round. Not everyone likes just one particular experience, but there you go. There you go. I could go on, but I don't want to. I've noticed every time you bring the camera settings up, the sound, the running sounds of the cab disappear. I've noticed that. I think that's the first unit or locomotive I've ever operated in this camera in this control configuration I'm using, where the sounds actually, you know, are reduced or disappear altogether. We've got just under 20 kilometers to go to Fulda. Happy days. Sorokin like Manchester Airport Route Y and Alderney Edge, while most trains stop for crew. Yeah, agreed. The caveat to that is, of course, it is it's on the, what is it? I forget the developer. It will come to me. It's not Dovetail, and it's not Just Trains, sadly. Because if that was to be, you know, Just Trains, I think they'll do a much better job. Armstrong, no. Alan Thompson Simulation, that's it. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about that. I appreciate it's a route in the north of England. No problem. I just think they could have been more ambitious, you know. I mean, it's not even a brand new train coming with it. It's a reused Class 323 in Northern livery from the Glossop line, which was launched 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago. So that just chips away at it. So yeah, the route definitely could have been expanded more, and almost definitely get a new train in to headline the route. They could say, oh well, you know, it fits the time period. We'll change the time period then. Change it up a bit. Make something new. We got a red coming up. I mean, I pretty much destroyed the whole timetable system on this route with me stopping and starting and being stuck at Frankfurt for what would feel like forever if it was in real life. Good grief. There'll be riots on the streets. Well, maybe riots online, definitely. Probably be a twit storm. It used to be called Twitter. I still prefer to call X as Twitter, even though it's in a dire state and I don't use it anymore. And that's probably what will happen if it was in real life. There'll be a twit storm. That's what will happen. Ooh, I knew it was going to do that. Oh well. Yes. 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 There we go. Maybe it was good we stopped for a change. Develop a bit of a gap between whatever is in front of us. Do the old come on. I think it's best no, I'm committed to doing it. Oh god, the train's moving. Crikey, that caught me up by surprise. Pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I'm not a perfect driver or virtual train driver. That's why I'd fail miserably in real life. Be cool to try in real life, but I think it'll end in hideous fashion. As you can tell. When I'm completely focused and silent and making videos in a reasonably professional manner, I am better than this, I can assure you. I've made 500 odd videos. in a reasonably professional manner when it comes to operating this game regarding signals and safety systems. It's just when it comes to a streaming perspective, it all just falls apart. Maybe I shouldn't stream again. Oh, that didn't sound good. Ah, there we go. It did sound good. I like the sounds. That's one thing I will say. For once, Dovetail got the sounds right, and they've implemented them in a good way. It's not choppy and stuttery and loopy. It sounds, maybe to German viewers, maybe not completely 100% accurate, but to me, it's good. I don't know how long this stream's been going on for. I might not do the return journey. I was just looking at the time. 21:40. Okay, yeah, I can easily do a run in the opposite direction. I've got plenty of time. I've got to wait until 11:30 at night anyway, so I've got time to kill. I mean, I'd love to know what the red piece of text there is. I'd love to know. But again, Dovetail didn't give us a reason why for inexperienced people that are not in Germany. But there you go. Or not familiar with the German rail operations. There you go. There you go. But I do stress, the Vectron is one of the better locomotives ever produced. Certainly for German, on the German front for Train Sim World in recent years. Yes, Slovak ball map, absolutely. Better late than never. Better late than never. I can assure you when we go in the opposite direction it'll be a much more smoother experience. Well, providing the weather doesn't have its own way. Can you do a contrast on that screen? Yes, you can. Oh, good. I'll have a sip of water in a second. A little under an hour and a half, indeed. Feels longer than that for some reason. We've got just under 8 kilometers to go to Fulda. Another little gripe I'll say about not this particular add-on, but just the route in general. Dovetail haven't added in the new stock or additional services that this would bring, you know, to Fulda in particular. As AI on Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel Würzburg, which is very, very disappointing. You know, it would have been cool, like, if you know, or yeah, it would have been cool if you would, you know, just go from Kassel to, or from Würzburg to Fulda, and you know, see the FlixTrain coming in to the platform, and or the 411 ICET, or even the red Vectron come, you know, to the platform, be it freight or passenger, but or arrive in the Fulda area. But there you go. There you go. About to join the main line, the super speedway of Train Sim World, well, in German terms. The Autobahn of Train Sim World. Don't worry, I won't go completely crazy. I will try to keep to a realistic speed. Coming up we have 140, and then it'll immediately go down to 100 kilometers per hour. Three kilometers to go. I did promise at the start of this journey that I would plop another Vectron next to the FlixTrain version so you could look at the differences in the cab. The only problem is I don't know which one. Either the Railpool or the Deutsche Bahn red one. Or both. I could do that. If I've got enough trackage to do that. Ooh, there's a 155 of all things. In a Orient Red livery from Deutsche Bundesbahn. It's nice to see that. It's a custom livery, by the way. It's not a livery that Dovetail stuck on the 155. That was a custom livery. Deutsche Bundesbahn Orient Red that I plan to make use this week. 1 kilometer to go. Hey. Nearly home and dry. I don't know if I will do a run in the opposite direction. I'm not sure. Don't want the stream to drag on forever. Going a little bit too slow on the braking front. And there we go. Okie doke. I take it, will we have to lock the doors? No, okay. So, as the cab of the FlixTrain Vectron. Keep that in your heads, because it will disappear very, very soon. Oh no, it will remain stationary for a time. Right, so I'm going to plop down. If I type in Vectron, will it come up? Yes, it will. So I'm going to put in. Oh, hello. FlixTrain, Deutsche Bahn, and then that one. I think that's the Railpool version. Well, I'll plop that one down. And I'll go in the cab. Jeez, look at the textures. I think it's a problem of this route. It's been present since day one. I thought when Dovetail brought a patch to this recently, they fixed it, but unfortunately I was wrong. It's been a problem since the moment this route was released. No excuses for me there. And ta-da! You can see the differences. And there's that screen been added there. It's not. I imagine there's some very small changes as well to. Stupid thing. Let's open the cab. So we'll step down from this one. We'll get rid of that. Delete the train. And then we'll take a look at the red one, which I haven't actually seen. Well, I've seen it in the game, obviously. Chugging around, doing its own thing. But not this one. So this is the Deutsche Bahn red one. There's the rail-pool version. Good timing. Yeah, it's just in a normal Deutsche Bahn red livery. Appalling texture bug. Hate it. Absolutely despise it. In we go. Is that a torch I've got on? Yes, it is. And yeah, you can see the differences in this one. Mainly that. No idea what that screen is, what it does, what it's used for. But, you know, at least Dovetail made some slight modifications to the Vectron interior. Particularly, you know, when you sat in the driver's seat. Ironic that they've gone to the, you know, to the task of changing the cab layout. But the things they add or move about don't work. Surprise, surprise. But, you know, at least they've made some tweaks to the interior so it doesn't feel samey. So, I'll give them credits to that. I'll give them credits to that. Right. Close the door. It would be cool if they modelled the complete interior of this locomotive, including the, I would say the engine room, but it's not really that, is it? It doesn't really have an engine as such. Sorry, drivers, passenger service from Frankfurt, main to Fulda. Doing this will abandon your current journey event. Oh. Well, how am I gonna... Oh. Oh. Oh, okay, never mind. I'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. Close the doors. Can I close the door? Yeah. Sounds nice. Alright, talk amongst yourselves or do something. Make a drink or something, get something to eat. It's going to take some time to close every single coach. Hello, nice to see another FlixTrain over there. That's come from somewhere. Is that a playable service or is that AI? If it's AI, I approve that. But again, Dovetail didn't say that it would add some additional AI services, because I read the article twice just to make sure. We will lock every door. I want this service to be completed, even if it kills me. At the 411 that's just turned up at the platform. Right, that should be the last one. Wouldn't surprise me at all if it doesn't recognise that. Nah, thought it didn't. Well, at least the rail scene, well, this moment in time in Fulda isn't horrendous. Like, aka very, very quiet. Yeah, I think I've closed all the doors. Yeah, and it still didn't register it. That annoys me. Yeah, I definitely closed it. Yeah, that annoys me immensely. Oh well. What can you do? What if I sit in the second man seat? No, that won't do anything. Dismiss. Go on then. There you go. Hey. Well, we finished it. Goodness me. Took nearly an hour and 31 minutes. Oh well, we got there in the end, eh? We got there in the end. We'll return to free roam though. Now this train is out of my hands. I want to take a look at the other FlixTrain that's just arrived. I've got to hope and pray that the good grief, that makes a noise. Is that the brakes? Good grief. Probably sounds accurate, but blimey, that makes a noise. I think it's this platform, isn't it? Let's go up here. Good grief, the stability is appalling. It's probably even worse on the stream, of which I can apologise. It's the route, not the stream. It doesn't say. That's interesting. It doesn't say a FlixTrain service, it must be AI. If that is the case, I approve of that. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's an AI service. Well, Dovetail kept that quiet. They probably said on the stream, but I have no time for their streams. I'm a busy person these days. A lot of people are. Yeah, but I think I'll call it a day, to be fair. I think I've looked at as much as I can. So I'll go back to the main menu. And I'll show you quickly the timetable of the FlixTrain Vectron quickly. And maybe the scenarios. I won't do them, but yeah. Yeah, hope you're well, Banana Craft. Hope all is good. Yeah, you know what it's like when it comes to talking on the stream and trying to operate a train service with safety systems on. Doesn't go entirely to plan. Did it actually manage to complete it? Yes, it did. Okay, fair enough. Good. I'm pleased. Right, I'll just show you the FlixTrain. There it is. There's two versions of the Vectron now, in railpool livery. That's for the Semmering barn, isn't it? Yeah, then you could pretty much do all the freight services. So yeah, it is indeed Taranta Ramp. Of all the services, you can do some international auto train services, and one's there with some Habins and mixed freight too. Even though FlixTrain has got nothing to do with freight, I think in any way, shape or form. Why it's subbed in there, good grief, I don't know. But yeah, we'll check out the scenarios. I'm not going to do them. I haven't done them in ages. But actually, it's 4 scenarios with the FlixTrain. Apologies there. So you got Hanu Heart Rate Razor, where you deal with an issue north of Hanu. Delays expected. Whoa, that's nothing compared to what the people have seen on my stream tonight. Right place, right time. Okay. Found with a fault needs your help. Okay. And then check a train is check this formation before delivering it for service. Oh, that's an interesting one. Maybe a shunting kind of service there. But yeah, 4 scenarios with the FlixTrain. That's not too bad, actually, to be fair. And then add to the fact that you've got well, the Vectron included with the King's Head Talbar route. And that's doing a couple of scenarios. That's what, 6 scenarios for Vectron, for the Vectrons. So if you're a Vectron lover, then yeah, there's plenty of stuff for you to do. Just turn the volume down in my mic. But yeah, overall, what would I say? Is it worth your cash at full price? Not full price, not by a long shot. I think over time it needs to be integrated into more routes, be it from more cross-border routes, just other European routes in general, like Sweden and the Netherlands, Austria, etc. The texture issue, that is a bit of a turn off, I must say, but that is an issue purely with the King's Head Talbar route, not the FlixTrain Vectron. Again, I just find it strange they chose to add like the FlixTrain Vectron now, especially when it's behind an additional paywall. It would have been just much better, in my view, to just bundle it in with the route as standard, especially since you've already got a Vectron included as standard for freight duty. So it just baffles me why they chose to make it as part of not only the deluxe edition but a completely separate add-on. So that I don't get from a business perspective, but you know, it makes them money, so that's why, really. The coaches I do like, I must say. They're a nice change, a mix of modern and a bit of old school character to it. I really do like the coaches, actually. It's, I think, one of my favourite German coaches for a fair while. But yeah, as far as Vectron goes, it is very similar, if not identical, to the physics, the sounds, what you can do in the cab. It would have been cool, you know, if Dovetail, you know, made the FlixTrain Vectron a separate DLC altogether, you know, a loco add-on. They would have modelled the complete interior of the Vectron, you know, the corridor, you know, going from one end of the cab to the other. That I would have liked to have seen, because then it would have maybe encouraged people to maybe not pick the DLC up at full price, but, you know, consider it maybe for a future purchase. But I think overall, 6 services not being integrated into any other routes other than bizarrely trying to ramp for freight duty, I think I will give it. Had a hair in my mouth, sorry. I think a 7 out of 10. I think that's fair. It is a good locomotive. The coaches are very well modelled, but I just think a bit more needs to be done to the Vectron to make it worthy of being full price. You know, work on certainly the interaction you do with the locomotive, more in-depth features. Maybe not to the extremes of TSG's DBR 101 Expert, which I still haven't got because I'm not paying full price for that. It's ridiculous. But maybe halfway to that would have been nice, and especially, like I said, a model corridor, and integrating it into more routes in the future, be it timetables on routes now or future routes in the coming months and years. But yeah, maybe then it'll be worth full price, but at the moment, no chance. But it is a good DLC. I will give it that. It's just an odd time to bring a FlixTrain Vectron to the King's Head Talbar route when there was already a Vectron in place. So yeah, there you go. At least bundle in as part of the route. But that's my view. that's me little say on the FlixTrain Vectron DLC for the Kings of Tarbon route on Train Sim World 5. If you had enjoyed it, and of course, feel free to hit the thumbs up button below. And if you are watching for the first time, then of course, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more Train Sim World shenanigans like you've seen today, or tomorrow, or whenever. The next stream will be January the 27th, 2025. That is indeed next Monday, a week today. And the route I will be doing will not be a German route for a change. I'm gonna go back to UK waters and do a run on, I think, the East Coast Main Line, actually. Considering I haven't touched it in ages, I want to see how that's looking. Nearly, what, a year and a half on. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. So, yeah, if you want to come along and tune in for that, then, of course, I'll put the details of when you will expect that stream to be live on a community post on the channel. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you next time.